Hello and welcome to the show. Chicago native T.C. Carson has a full career dating back to the 1980s. He's been a part of a lot of projects and he is not stopping anytime soon. It is my honor to welcome a Emmy Award-winning actor, musician, and dancer, and cook. What else can't you do? T.C. Carson.
Thank
Hello.
You. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well now. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. And I think it's important, obviously, to talk about living single, but part of the reason why I wanted you here is that staying power component and all of the ways that you have used the gifts God has given you to stay in this business in so many different ways for so long.
Oh, well, thank you.
You game?
Yes. Come on, let's have
let's start it as a little boy in Chicago. But let's talk about your influences early on. Who influenced you and how did you get here?
Well, my mom was a big influence. Like on Saturdays, she would get up, after I got up and had my cereal and cartoon, she'd get up, turn the TV off, and she put jazz music on. So I heard Ella and Sarah and Billie Holiday and Miles and Thelonious Monk and all these people growing up. And then when I started buying music, I went into Michael Jackson and the Temptations and the Spinners and Earth, Wind and Fire. So
that's a good musical palette that your mother gave you there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, could she sing? Was she a musician as well?
She didn't think she could sing, but I used to love to hear my mother sing. And she would do it every once in a while, and I would sit on the stairs. She didn't know I was listening. And I would just sit on the stairs and listen to her sing. She had a really pretty voice.
And I love this. I don't know how many people know that you actually started out in architecture school. How interesting. So you wanted to design and build buildings.
Yeah, my goal at that time was to build my mom a house. I wanted her, because we lived in the projects, and so I wanted to get her out of the projects. And so I thought, if I became an architect, then I could build her a house. Wow.
So at what point did you realize that voice of yours, that I'm sure you have sounded like this pretty much, since middle school or something, that was going to be something that people locked into and connected with?
I think it was 4th or 5th grade. It was an assembly. And I had a very progressive teacher, Mr. Hoffenberg. And he had us sing Let the Sun Shine from the musical Hair. Right. And I did the lead.
Of course you did the lead.
And when we got through, everybody stood up and started clapping. I went, well, maybe you can do this.
So that was the first time.
That was the first time.
Mr. Hoffenberg's recommendation on stage that you actually heard yourself and saw the impact that it has when you sang. Wow. So then singing turns into acting. Take us from there.
Well, it started with the Title VI program. That program brought music and theater and dance into the public schools at the time. And so that was my introduction into the other areas of acting and dancing as well as singing. And had a band in high school, had a band in grade school, actually. I had a great band in high school, had another band in college.
Wow. So music has been since day one.
Yes.
Was there ever a point when you were like, I really, really, really want to be a professional musician full time?
Absolutely. But it really was more about being an artist for me. Once I found the theater, once I started doing theater and I realized I could do everything that I had been kind of training to do.
You could do all of it there on stage.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that transition into acting and the theater. Who put you in that space?
I did I was doing musical theater for a while. I did The Wiz, we did Ain't Misbehavin', but then there was a piece called Colored Museum by George C. Wolfe that I did, directed by Andre DeShields. And that was the piece that let me know that, I really do like doing different characters. I like acting.
Yeah. So then Living Single comes along. And for so many of us, right, of a certain age, and now the kids who are watching syndication, that really was the first time that we were seeing ourselves and the variations of ourselves, right? Black people are not a monolith. So there was this depiction of a Kyle. There's everybody on there. That had to be so much fun to be a part of that.
It was fun, but it was also new. So it could be very difficult at times.
How so?
It was a new thing for me. I mean, I had done a TV show, but I had never done a sitcom. And so the work and how it was created and how we went through rehearsals and the run-throughs and what the executives wanted and, changing it. So it could be a little tense sometimes, but the people that I worked with, the cast, we just really gelled from day one.
Yeah, we're looking at some of the pictures of the cast.
There's
people. There's that smile. And I know every time, and Eartha,
she was wonderful.
Tell me more, because what a legend.
Oh, Mommy was great.
You call her Mommy.
Yeah, Mommy, she was great. She was great. She was such a lady.
Yeah.
Just so, like you said, Dorothy Dandridge, she was poised all the time, feet crossed at the ankles. She never, she was always pulled.
Yeah.
She was always pulled.
It
just like you.
Well, thank you. I am honored. And thank you. But there's this understanding, though, every time, and I know it must drive you guys crazy at some point, everyone asks, is there going to be a reunion? Because we're trying to get back to what it was like to feel that. But sometimes some things can't be recreated.
Yeah, it's like lightning in a bottle. I think it's a one-shot thing. It'd be great if we could do a movie, but I don't think another series is in the works.
Okay, we'll hold out for the movie.
But
then.
a movie would be great.
Raise your hand if you're holding out for the movie. I need you to raise your hand. Thank you. All right. This conversation is just getting started. When we return, we're getting to know a lot more about T.C. Carson, everything from upcoming projects to his guilty pleasures. And then later, he is going to sing a smooth jazz song from his Truth album. Stay with us. Gets better when we return.